Welcome to the Age is Irrelevant podcast with your host, Helen Fritsch. Helen is a 60-plus, lifelong competitive athlete, flight attendant, published fitness model, writer, IFBB bodybuilding pro, and certified wine specialist who believes that your age is irrelevant to pursue goals, dreams, and desires. Are you a woman in her 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond who still has a burning desire to pursue a dream or a passion? Are you thinking about starting a new chapter in your life, but you're hesitant, thinking that you might be too old or just don't know where to begin? The Age is Irrelevant podcast is a podcast devoted to women who want to defy the odds, smash barriers, and redefine happiness and success after 40. It's time to make a difference. There is no need to dread blowing out that added birthday candle every year. A new movement is slowly taking momentum, where being over the hill just isn't relevant anymore. Age labels are being thrown out the window, and women are rediscovering the strength within themselves to make a difference, not only within their own lives, but also touching and inspiring the lives of other women. Join Helen as she and her guests discuss all aspects of aging after 40 and how to make the aging process and those twilight years more rewarding, exciting, and fun.
Hello, and welcome to the Age is Irrelevant podcast. I'm your host, Helen Fritsch, and this is episode 108. You're in for a treat today. I am sitting down with social media delight, the fabulous SueBelle Robbins, Palm Beach socialite, storyteller, and the kind of woman who makes elegance look effortless. She's got a sharp eye for style, a soft spot for tradition, and a few memorable tales tucked behind that radiant smile. Now, whether she's hosting a garden party, heading a fundraiser, or enjoying a breezy afternoon along Worth Avenue, SueBelle brings elegance and personality wherever she goes. In this episode, we're talking all things SueBelle, where she grew up, where she worked, her travels, how she met the love of her life, and all things Palm Beach, the social scene, the fashion moments, and a few behind-the-scenes stories that only someone like SueBelle can share. With her warm wit and effortless grace, she reminds us that life's best moments come with a little sparkle and a lot of heart. So pour yourself something bubbly and settle in. This is going to be a very fun conversation. And here we go. Hi, SueBelle. Welcome to the show.
Oh, hi. Good. Happy to be here.
I am so happy that you're here. I have been following you and your worldly travels and all your delicious tips and tricks in Palm Beach for quite some time now, and I'm thrilled to have you on the show. And for my listeners, I am talking to SueBelle Robbins, known as SueBelle from Palm Beach. She's a renowned social media influencer and style icon, famed for her impeccable fashion sense, daily outfit inspirations, and tutorials. SueBelle has become a fixture in Palm Beach's social scene. She has cultivated a vibrant online presence that showcases not only her love for style, but also her passion for empowering others to embrace confidence and individuality. Whether it's curating the perfect look or sharing beauty tips, SueBelle continues to inspire her growing community to live life with flair. And I can attest to that because watching you on a daily basis in your gorgeous outfits of the day, and especially you just came back from a whirlwind cruise from overseas.
Mediterranean.
I can't wait to hear all about it. But I always like to start from the very beginning. So give our listeners a couple of things, little tidbits about you, where you were born, growing up, and all that fun stuff.
Okay, I was born in Oneida, New York, which is very close to Syracuse, and lived there to, like kindergarten. And I always said when I was in kindergarten, I remember we used to say the Pledge of Allegiance, and I distinctly remember the day the teacher said, "Oh, the Pledge of Allegiance is changed to one nation under God, the under God." And I always think that was sort of historic. And my grandparents used to come visit me in Texas. Oneida, the winters are terrible. So, but we moved to, I moved a lot. I lived in uh, Connecticut, and then Austin, Texas, and then San Antonio, Texas, and back to Austin, Texas. It was just a lot of moving around. Whenever we would move, my father was in sales. He was great personality. He was happy. His name was George, but Whitworth, but nobody could call him George except my mother. She got away with it. He was known as Buck because he had a horse when he was young, and everybody loved Buck. And so we moved around a lot. And when we moved to a new city, my mother would find another school district that was better. So then we'd have to move again. So there was a lot of moving. And I loved that because I would be like the new girl and be like a princess and like chew gum and say, oh, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to chew gum. I was just like, I got away with a lot of things till I got caught. And then I ended up back. My father was killed when I was 13 by a drunk driver, guy going down the highway the wrong way at sunset. And my mother was 35 and she had 4 kids aged 3 to 13. I was a 13-year-old. And so that was in San Antonio, Texas. My father had a very best friend, a gorgeous man. He signed my autograph book when I was 11. I just loved. His name was Bob. He was a marine engineer and a big hunter. So whenever he would come to town, we'd fix him up with a date. He never liked the date. And he flew in from Egypt for my father's funeral. And then he started coming to visit us and taking my little brothers on trips with my mother. They went to like Huntsville for a rodeo. And then he just started going places with my mother. So they got married. My father died the day Kennedy was inaugurated. And okay, and then my mother got married in February, Valentine's.
Wow.
So he became my stepfather, and I just adored him. And but then we had to move to Beaumont, Texas. And again, I was the new girl, a little bit of a princess, a new crop of boys to flirt and date. It was fun. I had a wonderful high school experience.
That's great. And so did you go to college?
Did I ever? I went to this stupid girls' school. It was the only school, I think it's co-ed now, but it was the only school in San Antonio or in the country where you would go from kindergarten to getting your PhD.
Oh my gosh.
Took a whole city block in San Antonio, right in the middle of town. So I went the year my father died, we were still in San Antonio, and my mother had me go to that school, and I loved it. I had 6 little wonderful girlfriends. And then because of Bob's job, we moved to Beaumont. And everybody in Beaumont went to this dumb college called Lamar Tech. I wasn't having that at all. So I went back to, because I loved Incarnate Word and I had great friends in San Antonio, I went to Incarnate Word College. Like the nuns had the big hats and all that. And when you saw a nun, you would say, "Praise be the incarnate word." And the nun would say, "Forever, amen." It was like military. And it was so dumb. But I went because I knew it and I loved the school. I went a year and a half. And then I thought, this is so stupid. I'm not going to go. I want to be a stewardess. So I had like 6 months before I turned 20. And when I turned 20, I had an interview with this American Airlines. I got accepted with Pan Am and Delta couple, and I only wanted to be on American. A friend of mine's dad was a pilot, and he wrote a letter for me. But the bitch that interviewed me said, if we don't call you, that means we liked other girls better than you. And I was just devastated.
Oh, wow. I work for American.
Oh, good. Well, this woman, you know what? 2 years later, I found out they weren't hiring, but they didn't tell you that. So
Oh,
I just felt like a total failure, that I didn't know what to do. And then I met a neat guy. He was in law school, and I sort of fell in love and applied to the University of Texas, which I'd always wanted to go to. But I knew my SAT scores were, underground. I didn't do well. So I went summer school, and I was able to get in. So that's where I went to college and graduated at the University of Texas. And when I graduated, I didn't know what to do. So I took an extra year to get my teaching certificate, and that was fun.
and so once you graduated and you're out in the big bad world all on your own, what did you pursue?
Well, I didn't want to marry a Texan. I decided the big stomachs and the cowboy boots and the drunk driving, and you would have to keep talking to your date so he didn't fall asleep at the wheel. I just wasn't having that. And I used to go visit my grandparents in upstate New York, and then I would visit my mother's family in Rhode Island. And I decided I really loved New England. So I was going to go to New York, but I went to Boston just for the day. I was waitressing in Cape Cod, and I went to Boston for the day, and I just fell in love with Boston. And all my friends that had gone to New York City, they only lasted a year. It was the 70s, and there was so much crime, and Boston was safe. But all the men had come back from Vietnam, and I applied to the school. I really wanted to teach. And I remember the head of the board said, we really like you, but we have to hire men because, the GIs needed jobs. So I met another guy, lots of boys, and he was involved with the Title I government program. So I got a job teaching in a Catholic school, and it was only $80 a week. And so I knew another girl who's a Playboy bunny. So I became a Playboy bunny for like a year and a half. And I was Bunny Courtney because there was already a Bunny Susie. And it was great. It was like another planet, black bunnies, Chinese bunnies, here I'm from white bread, Texas. And it was fun. And then during the day I was with the kids, and I loved it. They were so adorable. They'd come up to your desk and they put their arm around your neck. It was sweet. So that was nobody ever knew. I had the two worlds totally separate.
Wow, that is a huge discrepancy too, right?
Very much so.
And how long were you a Playboy bunny for?
Like a year and a half. And then I met a neat guy. His name was John, and he was a state representative, and he talked like a Kennedy. He had the same kind of hair, and he wore, Brooks Brothers suits, and I immediately fell in love, and I stopped being a bunny. And and then I dated him and spent a summer in Rockport, Massachusetts, which was just so beautiful. But it was dull. And I knew some girls that had been in the travel business. So I went, and I needed a job. I wasn't going to go back to teaching, and the escort thing seemed really glamorous. The idea of travel, since I couldn't be a stewardess, uh, and I loved the idea of taking people because I loved restaurants. I thought I can just talk to anybody, any place. So I got a job as an escort, and initially it was going back and forth from Honolulu to wherever the group was from, like Richmond. I remember my nickname in Texas was SueBelle, and I was checking in a group and I had my name tag and it said SueBelle. And this lady in Richmond said, "Oh, SueBelle, isn't that the most darling name? I love that name, SueBelle." And it was like, okay, I'm going to be SueBelle from now on.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I love the name too. It's awesome. It's great. It's very catchy.
Well, you know what would happen? They would get to the hotel and they wouldn't like the room, and they'd call the front desk for Miss Bell, and there was no Miss Bell. I was Susan Whitworth, but they didn't know that. But after a day or so, people get used to the room, and Honolulu was perfect. It was, had everything. People, they gave them a muumuu and a aloha shirt, and took them to a hula dancing lesson, and it was great.
Right, right. That's awesome. So let's fast forward and how did you I listened to a couple of other podcasts that you were on, and you went to visit Palm Beach, I think, at one point, and you loved it. You weren't living there, but you loved it. You kind of had that in the back of your mind that you always wanted to go there. Is that right?
Absolutely. John, the Boston politician, kept telling me about Palm Beach, how wonderful it was. And his sister had a dog named Palmy.
Oh, that's
And
cute.
so I went to Palm Beach, and we there's a beautiful Flagler Museum. It's a man from Standard Oil who sort of started Palm Beach, cut down all the trees, and got a railroad going. And so we went to the museum. I love history, and so I learned about that. And there was a fabulous restaurant on Worth Avenue, which is like our Madison Avenue or Rodeo Drive. And the restaurant was called Petite Marmite. It was a very elegant French restaurant. But the kicker was we went to the Colony Hotel for drinks. All the women were gorgeous. They were older, but everybody was thin and beautiful and had lots of makeup. And it was like, okay, someday I'm gonna live here. The seed was planted.
The seed was planted. That's awesome.
It was funny. The sad part about John was his mother hated me on sight, just like, and to tell you how much she hated me, uh, his sister, the one that had the dog named Palmy, said, "Oh, mommy, SueBelle got married." And the mother said, "SueBelle who?"
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And no. And then I was with my husband, my first husband's boss lived in Palm Beach, so we would visit occasionally. And that was just wonderful. I probably would have stayed married if he'd gotten a second house, so I could be in when he wasn't in town. I could go to a different house. I didn't have to be in the same house. He wasn't much fun. But my second husband, Richard, whom I adored for 38 years, one night he said, "I make too much money. I don't have any deductions." And I said, "How about a mortgage?" And he said, "What?" I said, "Palm Beach." And he had traveled to Palm Beach on business, and he liked it. He didn't like Florida so much, but he liked Palm Beach. And he said, "Okay, but we can't live there yet." I said, "That's fine." So the next week I got him down to Palm Beach and bought this beautiful penthouse, and we got a tenant. People said, "Oh, you can't rent seasonally. I mean, you can't rent year round. You have to rent seasonally. And you can't rent unfurnished. So we rented unfurnished year round for 7 or 8 years. Meanwhile, I started buying the first one was 95,000 and sold it for 430 and bought like two or three places would buy them and then fix them up and sell them. And it was great. And then our last one happened right with the Madoff scandal, and the market in Palm Beach just fell apart. And we had sold it maybe 2 days before over the phone to a man from Germany. So we were able to move into our penthouse after renting it out for like 12 years.
That's amazing. Very, very lucky too with all that, right? Very, very lucky. So now you're in Palm Beach, and what's a typical day for you in Palm Beach look like?
Um, well, we have a fabulous restaurant. It's very sophisticated. They have it in New York too, called St. Ambrose. So I often meet friends for coffee and then just do errands all day. Um, I started with Instagram. It was just a fluke. A woman on the street popped up and said, I was with my dear friend Laura, and the lady said, can I interview you? What are you wearing? And I said, oh, this is Ralph. And, this is, and she posted it. We got 16,000 hits like within 12 hours. So that began a little career. And around that time, my darling Richard had a stroke. He fell and he had a stroke, and life just wasn't the same. It's like one day it's wonderful, and the next day it's sad and difficult. But he was adorable. But it was like 3 hospitals and 3 rehabs. And then I was finally able just to, I sold the penthouse because the real estate market went crazy. And so I sold the penthouse and got a nice little profit and moved down the street to a smaller place. And it's beautiful. I love it. It's all bright. The penthouse had beautiful sunset, and then they built this skyscraper right across the bridge in West Palm. There's a lot of building, the high-rise market.
Right.
The whole market, you never can tell, but everybody wants to be in Palm Beach, bottom line.
Right, right. So you started your little Instagram, and you've just really blossomed and flourished over these last couple of years.
It's amazing.
And you become quite the sensation. Everybody loves seeing your outfits of the day, your tutorials. You're very famous for your hair and your Tresemme, which I used to. I love Tresemme. I swear by Tresemme hairspray. So,
I talk about Tresemme so much that when Richard died, Tresemme sent me a huge bouquet of flowers.
oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. How,
But
how has living in Palm Beach shaped your view on beauty, style, and status?
well, growing up in Texas, it's the land of big hair and everybody wears makeup. I had a New England mother, and she didn't have big hair, and she didn't wear high heels to the grocery store like Texas ladies do. Um, but I, my foundation was growing up with this sort of beauty queen kind of
Right?
friends. And so I really don't go out of the house unless I've got full makeup and hair and a cute outfit. I always preach that girls should not keep their workout clothes on all day. Go home, take a shower, put on a cute outfit. So
I've heard you say that. That's so true. So, in my opinion, you're like the epitome of Palm Beach chic. Um, how,
Thank
how would you describe your signature style in 3 words?
uh, Town and country
I
with
like
a few
that.
buttons
Yes.
unbuttoned.
And town and country, and what else?
A few buttons unbuttoned.
And a few buttons unbuttoned. Oh, I like that. I like that. Yes. Yeah.
Sexy town and country.
Oh, I like that even better. Yeah. What's one fashion rule you always break and why? If you do.
uh, I can't think of any. I'm like I modeled for. I was a style model for catalogs when I lived in Boston, and I learned so much. You can't match navies. You can't if you're wearing leopard, you can only wear one leopard. You can't wear more than one animal.
Right.
So I learned a whole lot, and I don't think there's anything. Uh, According to my style. My style isn't the same for everybody,
Right.
but that's sort of the way it goes.
You're always in bright colors. Like you're wearing pink right now. It looks amazing on you. Your style is, it's fitted, it's classic, it's stylish. It's very Palm Beach. I really that's how you look, and that's how my interpretation of you whenever I see you. Has Palm Beach influenced you with your sense of style and elegance and beauty?
Well, when I first moved down here, I, I I didn't know. I sort of didn't know how to dress. In Boston, you wore black and navy, and I
Right.
would always wear colorful clothes in the summer. But here, it's summer all year round, uh, and and then I discovered white jeans. White jeans with a great belt and a pastel shirt, and you're set. It's a big deal too to have a little cardigan over your shoulders,
Right.
even though it's 87 degrees.
Yeah. Well, but when you go into a restaurant or a store, sometimes it's chilly, and so that's probably a smart thing
It is.
because of the air conditioning, because you're going from that all that heat and humidity into this, dry, cool air. So I totally get it.
I found that out in Texas. They keep everything's like a meat lock, or if you go to the movies, you have to bring socks and
That's true. Yep, that's true. Do you have a favorite designer or go-to boutique in Palm Beach that just like gets you, understands your style?
yeah, a couple of them. I've been wearing some gorgeous. I love the look. St. John knit. Uh, when I was married to my first husband, I was a corporate wife, flying around on a Gulfstream jet, and being the youngest of corporate wives. I what you always wore were St. John knits. They were like very traditional. They've changed, and they don't do the knit so much anymore. They just do beautiful little dresses and sheaths with a jacket, so it can look like a suit, or you can take off the jacket and it looks like a sheath. And so I love that. I love Ralph. I've always loved Ralph, day one. And I found this great designer, Gretchen Scott. This is a Gretchen Scott, and she does these super pull-on pants, like Carter's, like the baby.
Uh-huh.
And so you have to have a little over blouse, but they're wonderful. And she does solid white, but also a lot of like Poochie-esque things. I went through a Poochie phase a few years ago, and for my birthday or Christmas, I always got a Poochie dress. I love Hermes scarves. Um, I, I I think that's about all. Oh, and I love to thrift. A friend of mine just taught me that. I used to say secondhand shop. I didn't know what to call it, but thrifting is when you go to used clothing stores. We have some darling ones. City Girl here. So if you know what you look good in and you know the manufacturer, and you can get it for like an eighth of the price. It's really fun. And you go to Bloomingdale's and they have 12 of the same dresses. So there are going to be 12 other people wearing what you're buying. If you're thrifting, it's like one of a kind. It's really fun. So it's like a fashion safari.
It is. Oh, that's good. I like that fashion safari. We have a great, I live in Scottsdale, and we have a great thrift store there called My Sister's Closet, a lot of couture. And I have gotten some amazing clothes there, amazing clothes for, and bags for like very, very, very affordable. So I'm all about that same thing,
Good.
same exact thing. So being in Palm Beach now, you've become quite the socialite, and you walk runways, and you're big into giving back to the community. I've seen you at gala events and everything. What's your secret to staying grounded while you're staying glam?
Oh, it has been I'm just so grateful. I guess that's the bottom line. People say I'm authentic. I'm just myself. I tend to be a little jittery, and a couple of the comments have said, "Does she have a medical condition?"
Oh,
I just have a lot of energy, but a high point. I think it was December, and I was a cover girl with this beautiful Bagley Mishka gold dress. And I've just had a lot of exciting things happening, and I'm just grateful. I always think it because Richard, was so it was so sad. I think my fame, everything that's happened is like a present from God, a gift.
right. He's looking down on you and knows that you thrive in this scenario. So I agree with that. I think that I've had other friends have things happen, and it's shortly after a loved one has passed. So I agree with that 100%.
You hear something weird? There was this guy, a highlight of my life in Palm Beach is we have a store called Stubbs and Wooten, and I've been buying them for like 20 years. They went from like $125. Now they're like 600, but it's a signature shoe. It's like a loafer. And they've come out with a SueBelle shoe. They did a
Oh,
little picture of me, and it's on the shoe, and for men and women. And I guess it's selling pretty nicely. That has been just incredible having,
oh my
I can
gosh.
say Stubbs and Wooten is like on North Avenue. It's like Bergdorf's on Fifth Avenue. So,
Right.
I
Right.
can die happy.
Right. And they're probably so comfortable also too.
Oh, yeah, they never wear. Oh, my
Oh,
darling assistant,
oh, that's awesome. Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
they're adorable.
Look.
And
Oh,
look at it's got a little SB here.
oh, I love that. Oh my gosh. That it's so adorable. When I'm
I
down
always
there, I'll have to,
say I've had a life beyond my wildest dreams. It's
I'll have to
just,
go in. Oh my gosh. That's so amazing. Because your classic look to me is a really bright, colorful shirt with a very slim jean and your Hermes belt, and then your slides, mules, and then a little. And I just think that is so classic. And you have like a rainbow of colors too, which I love. So I think that's awesome. How do you navigate social circles down there when things get like a little hectic?
well, I have a posse. There are six of us, and three are Democrats, three are Republicans. None of us talk about politics. We all wore pink and went to see Barbie,
Oh,
which we
that's
all hated. Um, but I have really good friends, and they're so supportive. They're they've sort of done this with me. And what's made me like, it's been so incredible. I'll be in a restaurant. It's like I'm almost like a movie star. Can I have a
Sure.
picture? Oh, my sister loves you. Oh, my mother follows you. Can I have a picture? I mean, whoever thought?
Mm-hmm. I, I, and that leads me into my next question. What
Excuse
what
me.
what advice would you give women who want to build a strong, authentic social network later in life?
Um, make an effort to look good. Really, make an effort. Try. Don't don't say, oh, I don't need to wear lipstick anymore. Wear lipstick, make yourself cute, be friendly, smile, introduce yourself, ask them where were you born? Where'd you meet your husband? Where'd you go to college? Just get a dialogue and then say, can you meet for coffee on Wednesday? I'll meet you at 10 o'clock. Just go. That's sort of a process.
Right.
Oh, and on social media, I I don't know, I just try to keep it positive, and it's just happened. It's
No, she's saying for other people that are trying to inspire other people, what would you say to other people trying to do social?
oh, you mean people wanting to go on social media?
Later in life. I mean, you've done such a great job of doing that. Yeah.
Oh gosh, just be yourself. I mean, uh, have a friend video you and look your best and talk about things that are important to you, or things like you hate, you find
Yeah.
a commonality with
Right.
people.
Right. That's true. That's true.
I thought you were talking about just moving to Palm Beach and to meeting people.
But that's good too. I mean, because a lot of women, especially, I mean, I'm 68, and a lot of women starting in their 50s, they're in that like process, that second chapter, where they're going through menopause, so their bodies are, going crazy. They're empty nesters now. The kids are moving out. Their relationships are changing through divorce, through death, through, something else. And it can be difficult, and women can get into a rut. And seeing someone like you still thriving and being very vibrant and being very authentic and showing the world, your day in and day out and your tutorials and what you're wearing, and because that makes people happy, that people are always interested in how other people, operate. So I think what you're doing is just a great job, and I love, everything that you're doing. You're pretty much known for your jet-setting lifestyle too. What
Yeah,
what are some of the places that have left like the biggest mark on your soul?
Paris.
Me too.
Paris. I love Bermuda. I haven't been there for a long time, but I love that. I was going to just mention one thing, the empty nest and all that. I had my tubes tied when I was 28. I married somebody and he had a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old. And it's like, oh, good. I don't have to have kids. I love children. I really do, but I don't want any. And so many people, I'll say, oh, how did you meet her? And they'll say, oh, our kids were in the same class. And that's been like a handicap for me because, you don't have anything in common with somebody
Mhm.
until most people use children, but since I didn't have it, I've had to try a little bit harder.
Right.
But I'm sorry, I just wanted to put that out there if somebody hasn't had kids.
I haven't had kids either. So I never had the calling. I was married and I assumed I was going to have children, and then I got divorced and I kept saying, "Oh, but there's still time." But I just never had that yearning to have kids. And finally I was like, "Okay, I'm not having them." So, and I really have no regrets. I have nephews and great nephews that I can spoil, but
Yeah, that's
I
exactly.
understand all that. So yes, we're speaking the same language there. What Do you always pack in your carry-on no matter where you're going?
My ballet slippers, um, Capezios, to take off your shoes and put on your ballet slippers. That's always a thing. And of course, a huge bag of makeup.
And your hairspray.
Hairspray. No, they take my
Oh,
hairspray away.
that's right. That's right. I saw that too. It's over 3 ounces until they took that. Yeah, I know. That's a bummer.
He took my hairspray, and I said, "Can I just do a farewell spray?" And they said no. So
That's funny.
do
So
something about that.
how has traveling the world shaped your worldview, especially as a woman over 70?
I don't feel any different. I I have no problem chatting with people. It's a curiosity about somebody you don't know. You want to find out more about them, and you want to kill time. Or if they're like creepy, you just put your headphones on and act like you're listening to music, but
Right.
you're not. You just like you don't want to talk to them. No, yeah, I love meeting people when I travel. It's unique, and some people I've met traveling, we've become close, like 20 years of a relationship.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. That's great. What's something about you that would totally surprise people that they don't already know?
Gosh, you ask hard questions.
Um,
Mm.
do you have like, for example, for me, I love playing ping pong. Nobody really knows that, but I was like the ping pong intramural champion in college. So that's something like fun that, people would know that that's just like, something even from the past.
Um, I guess my obsession with lipstick. It's when I finally got my first tube, I wanted it in third grade, but I had to wait until sixth grade. And I remember being at the country club at the pool and going behind the bush to apply my ponytail pink lipstick. That's how I started, ponytail pink. And I still, no matter what, I guess it's like a Linus with his blanket, me with my lipstick. And when my lipstick alarm goes off, I have to put on lipstick. I have a darling friend, and she said, I knew we would be friends when I saw you putting on your lipstick in the movies. So that's something, it's a little trivia, but that is a little obsession. I know I haven't. Oh, my obsession used to be I always wanted to be a model, and I got to be a model. I took modeling lessons in seventh grade or eighth grade, and the bitchy lady that uh, taught. I sort of had a crush with her son. I went to a Christmas party with him, and I think that's why she didn't like me. But she said that I would never be a model because I didn't have high cheekbones. I'm a little envious. You have nice cheekbones, but um, I just had this dream of being a model, and I had a fabulous 15-year career modeling, mostly for catalogs as a style model. I was never in the catalog. The buyers had never seen an outfit on. So all I did was try on clothes all day. And so that dream came true. The dream was living in Palm Beach and then living in New York City. We we had a beautiful apartment on Park Avenue in New York, and had to sell it. That COVID syndrome, everybody has
Mm.
sad story about that, but that broke my heart because I couldn't believe I made it to New York City, and
Mhm.
I was taking acting lessons. Um, And
You did some acting, didn't you?
well, in high school and a couple commercials, I made a great commercial for the Republican Party, and it was perfect because it had a teleprompter, and you could just read it. And my problem always was memorizing, unable to memorize. So no bridge. Everybody plays bridge here, but that's why my Instagram thing has been so great because I can just be a little bit of an act. Also, when I taught school, you're like the star, and the
Right.
kids are loving it. So that dream has come true a little bit different. I mean, I'm not on a soap opera. My first husband, I thought I'd get a divorce and I'd go to New York City and I would be on All My Children. Well, that never happened.
Let's talk about your skincare because your skin is flawless. You look amazing.
Really?
Yes. Yes. So what's your daily routine? I know my listeners would want to know that.
Oh, just a good cleanser. I love Walgreen products. They usually have the same ingredients as the really expensive. And
Mhm.
if you can afford it, buy really expensive. But if you can't, look at the ingredients. So, wash my face is a big thing. And I just use oil of Olay moisturizer before I go to bed and in the morning. Uh, I am addicted. I think it's my 8th year to false eyelashes. When I was a bunny, I said it was mandatory that you wear false eyelashes. And I remember saying, I'm always going to wear false eyelashes. Well, they're so much trouble. And now I go every 3 weeks and I get my lashes. So yeah. And you know what? When I get sad, really sad about Richard, I I try not to cry too much because when he first got sick, I would cry my lashes off. You pay $75 and all the lashes are on your handkerchief.
That's true. That's true. You have to be careful with your lashes and water for sure. For
But
sure.
absolutely. And then I do, moisturizer and a foundation and a highlighter here, here, here. And then on my non-existent cheekbones, I do uh, blush. And I'm a big girl for not all their products, but I love some of the Wet and Wild stuff.
I do too. Yeah. I think drugstore makeup has come a long way. So
Absolutely.
I'm with you 100%. Um, what's one of the biggest myths that you think about women and aging that you'd like to bust? Just thinking about your own lifestyle and where you are today.
Like you can have a life beyond your wildest dreams if you pursue and you remember you're enough,
Oh,
just
I love
always
that.
you are enough. And I laugh, but it's true. For every bad day, you're going to get two good ones. Like Sunday was shitty when I had to be on that long flight. Yesterday was great. And this morning, I'm having fun with you. So that's one bad day, and I've got two to show for it. And never give up, never let yourself go. I mean, put on some makeup for God's sake.
That's true. That is true. What's something younger women get wrong about women over 50? What do you think?
I have just the opposite. I have all these young girls, and I want to be you. I love the way you look. Um, it's a miracle. I can't believe, and gays love me too. That's been so much fun. Sweet guys. Um, we did have a t-shirt with SueBelle picture of me, and it totally sold out. uh, so I just think since I don't have kids, these young girls that come up, like in their 30s, I think they could be my grandchildren, you
Mhm.
know, and
Mhm.
I adored my grandmother. So I understand why they like me because I
Right.
used to feel the same way.
Well, I think too that people look up to you because you are very authentic and you're very personal. And I think that's what people love about you too. So I think I really, really, comment and give you so much praise for that because a lot of people on social media, it's all about how many followers they can get, where you're just showing us your everyday life and you're naturally getting more people to follow you because people love what they see. So I think that's what I love so much.
Well, I love talking to you because you make it easy, and you've asked me all the questions that are in my heart, that how I feel.
That's good.
You,
We're going to finish up, and I have some rapid fire questions for you.
oh
Okay.
boy.
Oh, don't worry. So, the first one is heels or barefoot on the beach?
I hate sand, so you're talking to the wrong girl. Um, Barefoot, of course.
Okay. All right. Favorite cocktail to sip at sunset?
Oh, I have discovered this wonderful little, I don't drink, so how many Cokes or club sodas can you drink? I found this wonderful, it's called Little Saints, and it's just, I love at sunset or in the afternoon instead of a coffee because I drink too much coffee. I have some Little Saints. It's in a darling little green can and they have different flavors.
Is it like a little mocktail?
It is a mocktail. And
Okay.
whenever I go for dinner, I insist that they give me a wine glass.
Oh,
And
that's
yeah,
that's good because you want to feel like you're, with the others too.
absolutely. Well, it's elegant.
Yeah, I totally get that. Most extravagant thing in your closet right now?
Well, it's not in my closet, but it is in a closet. Is I have a gorgeous sable coat. I just adore it. And it has an animal print lining, just incredible. Um, I bought it from this lady, old lady, very rich, nice old lady. And it was my friend worked in a fur store. She said, that coat's a $75,000 coat. And so I offered the lady, I offered her uh, 10,000, 5,000, and she wanted to sell it for 20. So I ended up paying 10,000 for it. And I don't know, moving from Texas, where winter is no big deal, to
Mhm.
where you live in Boston. I used to think you could walk on top of the snow.
Mhm.
It was horrible. It's not just a question of glamour and beauty with fur. It keeps you warm.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it
And
does.
on my wedding night, my darling husband Richard gave me a check, and it was made out to Mr. Mink. So I have a fur coat that I had made into a raincoat. So that's in storage also, and it means so much to me.
Rapid fire, just use like quick ones.
Anything else?
What's the most outrageous Palm Beach party you've attended?
Uh, they're all pretty stiff. I mean, you get all dressed up and you talk and they're not too outrageous. I mean, this
Okay.
2025. But in Texas, when I was at the University of Texas, I was at a party where they put all the dishes in the washing machine. And this guy had a crush on me. I went to take a nap and he put a cord around his arm so nobody would come in and bother me in the bedroom. But that was college. You know how they are in college.
I totally get it. So if people wanted to start following you or find you on social media, or do you have a website too?
I think so, yes. But mostly I'm just SueBelle on Instagram or TikTok.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
SueBelle.TikTok.
Oh, SueBelle.TikTok.
Okay. All right. Got it. Well, is there any one final thing that you would like to share with the world as far as women over 50? Some little magical sentence or a couple of sentences about living life to your fullest?
Yeah. Again, you are enough, and your cup isn't half empty, it's half full. And you can keep adding to make it full by believing in yourself, taking care of yourself, and looking good.
I tell you what, looking good is your best revenge. That's my motto. So,
It is.
and it's obviously working for you too. Well, SueBelle, thank you so much. It's been so much fun and it's been a joy and a pleasure. If I get down to Palm Beach, I will let you know and hopefully we can get
Call
together
me.
for
Yes.
coffee. For
I
sure.
love to, I'm a texting maniac. So let me know when you're coming and we'll make a date. I love talking to you.
I sure will. And thank you again. Have a great afternoon. And Allie, thank you so much for everything.
Thank you very much.
Enjoyed that interview with SueBelle, and here are some takeaways from the interview. Number one, confidence is ageless. SueBelle reminded us that true confidence isn't about age, it's about attitude, whether she's walking into a gala, watching a Formula One race in Monte Carlo, or just strolling the streets of Palm Beach. Her inner glow stems from self-assurance cultivated through life experience, not youth. Number two, style is a statement, not a size. From her signature hair and shoes to her bold, sophisticated wardrobe, SueBelle views fashion as an extension of her identity. Her message, no matter your age or body type, dressing up is a form of self-expression and celebration. You always need to look good. Number three, the art of graceful aging lies in curiosity. SueBelle's life is a testament to never settle. She travels, learns, and socializes with curiosity and passion, proving that staying engaged with the world is one of the most powerful anti-aging secrets. Number four, a well-lived life is built on relationships. Whether it's nurturing old friendships or forming new ones, SueBelle emphasized that social connection is key to joy and longevity. Her vibrant social calendar is more than glamorous, it's medicine for the soul. And the last final thought, SueBelle said that you are always enough. Your cup is never half empty, it's always half full, and that you have the ability to keep adding to that cup. So believe in yourself, take good care of yourself, and always look good. Now, if you'd like to reach SueBelle, you can find her on Instagram at SueBelle, SueBelle, and she's also on TikTok at SueBelle.TikTok. If you'd like to reach me, you can find me at helen@ageisirrelevant.com. Again, I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I'm so grateful and thankful for all my listeners. If you like this episode, please share. And as always, age truly is irrelevant. Take care. Bye-bye.